Hi everyone, this is Norman Koshnak here from Eyes on Cricket. We're here in front of the SCG. In fact, it's day 3 has just ended at the GABBA, as you probably all know. And we have an amazing situation occurring where they have seen England, of course, perform particularly well and have gone to 2 for 220 when they're chasing under 278, which Australia had led by in the first inning. So after the first day's play, of course, England were all out for 147, looking pretty disastrous at that point. And it didn't get much better when Australia ended up batting into the third day, and they were actually all out for a total which went past 400. An exceptional effort indeed, and it was an amazing situation to see Australia doing so well. In fact, Australia were all out for 425. So England were all out for 147 and Australia were all out for 425. That gave Australia a lead of 278 on the first innings, quite amazingly. And in fact, they looked home and hosed. Most people were packing their bags, about to go off for the flights on the third day from the GABBA. But in fact, England had other ideas. They did lose 2 wickets relatively early, when, of course, both Hamid and Rory Burns opened the batting. In fact, you would argue, the way that England batted, it looked like they were heading towards a low total. Rory Burns was out for 13. He got a very good ball from Cummins. It actually rose quite nastily, and Carey took the catch behind. Then Hamid came in with MALAN and batted steadily until, of course, the score reached 61. Yes, they were looking quite steady, but in fact, Hamid got out again to a ball down the leg side, which caught the bat, and he was out for 27. So they were 2 for 61, and looking quite like we're going to see an innings that wasn't going to necessarily finish in favour of England. But in fact, that completely changed around because both David MALAN and Joe Root came together and actually have put on a magnificent partnership from 2 for 61 to 2 for 220, the close of today's play. So they actually have gone 159 with their partnership. It's been a magnificent partnership indeed, looking very good, with David MALAN not out on 80 and Joe Root not out 86, both having hit 10 fours each. So there we are. That's the score as it stands. 2 for 220 after 70 overs in the day's play. Obviously, in the morning session earlier on, when Australia was 7 for 343, it looked as though they would also capitulate, but they didn't. They batted on quite handsomely to that 425 scoreline, so they added some 87 actually for the last 3 wickets. It went from 7 for 343 to all out for 425. So they added another. No, it wasn't 87. It was actually 43. It was 82 runs they added, which was quite incredible. That made the total lead by 278 after being 196 in front overnight. They went to 278 in front when they were all out for 425. So that left a magnificent day ahead. We thought Australia would probably clean them up and be going home, but no, it didn't happen. England are 2 for 220, so they've only got a 58-run deficit. 58 runs now in deficit. They've only lost 2 wickets. So, yes, beautiful drawing saying Barmy Army. We haven't got any Barmy Army representatives here, but David Speake would be there. My friend, he'd be on Barmy in full flow. Of course they are. Amazing innings from MALAN and Root. Yes, this GABBA pitch changed raw decent, changed for the last 10 years. It got a little flatter, looks like Pakistan has gone at 430 plus. England and India have both scored runs too. Yes, it doesn't look as charming a wicket as we thought. So that makes the situation quite distinctive. You can see we're at the Sydney Cricket Ground. You see a bit of the emblem there behind me. Yes, so there we are. We've seen a victory of sorts for England today. They're not quite in front yet. They're still 58 runs behind, but they've only lost 2 wickets. So effectively, they are in a good position. And in the Australian batting lineup earlier today, of course, Travis Head went from the overnight score of 112 to score 152. Put on 40 runs with, of course, Mitchell Stark getting out for 35. He batted on quite well. Nathan Lyon got 15 and Josh Hazell was not out 0. The wicket takers for England were 2 for Wokes, 3 for Ollie Robertson, 3 for Wood, who finished quite well. None for Ben Stokes. Leach got 1 and Root got 1. So Root got the wicket of Pat Cummins, actually, which is interesting. In the Australian bowling effort, so Mitchell Stark got a wicket. And Pat Cummins got a wicket, but that was it. Nathan Lyon yet to get his 400 test where he's only got 399. Still wicketless in this test. Cameron Green bowled 7 overs for 12. Labuschagne even pitched him for 3 overs for 14. The notable missing bowler was Josh Hazlewood, only having bowled 8 overs in the day. Now, there's speculation that he would have been held back, perhaps, for the latter part of the innings, but it didn't come out. So what happened to Josh Hazlewood? Is he carrying an injury? There's the question mark going on. Dave Warner didn't field for most of the day. In fact, Dave Warner had some bruised ribs and didn't partake in the field for very long. And there was a player that actually did come out, and I've got his name here. And he came out, which is a guy who has played virtually no cricket of any sort. Oh, let's get his name out. Look at this. So Hugo Burden. So Jai Richardson was on the field as a subfielder for most of the day for Warner, but also Hugo Burden from the Gold Coast Dolphins was the acting 12th man. He got a go. Hugo Burden. We couldn't find out much about him other than the fact that he played for the Gold Coast Dolphins. So there goes. Interesting day's play overall. We have so English Lions have played as well. Lance Labuschagne and Dartwood MALAN will be up for interview later on today at the press course. So we'll have some recorded videos of MALAN, Labuschagne and Dartwood MALAN. Travis Head did get a very, very competent 152 and looked the goods indeed. He certainly has, for the most part, cemented his batting position. He only was helped by Labuschagne and Dave Warner early on, and the rest of the batsmen. And Mitchell Stark pitched him at 35. So there we go. We'll have a section of work that came out of that. So that's a very interesting component of the day's play. We had people that have just walked past that would be there. So yes, 425 off 104.3 overs Australia got, putting them in front by 278 runs. Why are in a car? Because it's just the connection and it's extremely windy, and if I don't have the shot, I'll be blown out of the way. Is Lion unlucky or what? Lion is unlucky. England will lose. Well, you can't say that. England's batting line is so long that they could well still continue to bat England. They've still got a lot of batters to go. We could easily see England wipe off the 58 runs and then start afresh into the 4th day. So, look, there's a fair bit to go. You never know. You get 150 further in front. You've got Ben Stokes still there to bat. Pope looked pretty good in the first innings. Josh Butler, we know, can bat as well. Ollie Robinson can have a ding, so can Woke. So there's a little bit of batting left in England, and Ben Stokes is a real fighter. So if these two can continue on tomorrow and both get centuries, one's on 80 and one's on 85, and Milan's on 80 and Root is on 86, in fact. Root hasn't scored a century in Australia, so this will be a big deal for him. He will certainly be pleased to have that happen, you would guess. Very much looking forward to it. Of course, today is Friday. In fact, tomorrow there's a big bash match between the Sydney Sixers and I think it's the Hobart Hurricanes, which is on here tomorrow. It's absolutely freezing in Sydney, and it's overcast. It did rain quite a bit today. So England will win or England will lose. Root 200 is incoming. So Root, I think you may find that Root will score a century. Double century would be untold amount of positive there for sure. So there you go. So we're at the Sydney Cricket Ground. You can see the backdrop there of the Sydney Cricket Ground. Quite happy to come out a bit further now. The wind has gone away. Oh, there we go. All right, I'll be careful with this wind. So that's the day that we have here. We have had a bottler of a day, as a matter of fact. As far as an English team is concerned, they'd be very, very happy with their performance. All went well for England. Seem to have a bit of a... So therefore, you can see the background of the SCG. I'll just get that sorted out, shall I? Let's get this cranked up there. There we are. There we are. A ground that I'm very familiar with, having been here quite often indeed. So you can see in the backdrop there, you can see what is called the Sydney Cricket Ground entrance. And then you look to the left and you've got the stand behind you as well. So could even go across the road a bit further. We could go get a bit more of a view here of the ground. Watch out for traffic, as there's a fair bit of traffic here. It's very windy here and very cold. So I may not stay here very long, guys. So, of course, with this performance, England is certainly, well, they were 278 runs behind, but this performance has allowed them to be a mere 58 behind, which is certainly great. Do you think Australia can get an easy win here from here? Well, look, England could fall apart and Australia get an easy win. Look, once they get rid of the 58-run deficit, that is England, then we're looking at a situation where every run will count. And that's the question which we've got to work on. So you can see behind me, the SCG is behind me there, and that's where the Sydney Cricket Ground is. So we've got a lot to look forward to. So Australia can get a win. Of course they can get a win. It's a matter of England surviving. England's still 58 runs in arrears. If they start to lose 3 or 4 wickets, things could fall apart and Australia might have a small total chase. But the reality is that we are expecting, it's freezing, guys. It's absolutely freezing. We'll get back in front of here. Crossing the road on the hello turf of the SCG. We may go back here. In fact, guys, I'm going to duck in here because it's far too cold here today. We'll get this sorted. Just bear with me, guys. You're looking at some sky here for a minute. So just bear with me a minute. But yeah, as I was saying, Australia's performance was, Pat Cummins was left a little bit, he leaves a bit to be desired with his captaincy today. I don't think it was the best day for his captaincy. He looked a bit wayward in his bowling. He didn't bowl Hazelwood. If Hazelwood's injured, then it's all understood. If it's not, then it doesn't make any sense why Hazelwood was kind of kept back for the second innings. They need to get wickets now. So that is an issue in itself. Back in a sec, guys. Just give me a second. Get back into his car. Kookaburra was going overhead. All sorts of crazy noise. I'm not happy that I'm here, I think. It's been an amazing day indeed. Of course, I can't account for the whole situation with noise. We'll pull us out now. I'll have a chat. All right. Any viewers' questions from today's match? As we said earlier, there's no doubt that Australia certainly need quick wickets tomorrow. Australia needs quick wickets tomorrow is certainly the truth. Let me get myself sorted out here, guys. It is freezing for Sydney to be what it is today, weather-wise. Okay. Australia need more than quick wickets tomorrow. They need a lot more than a few quick wickets. They need a truckload of new wickets, quick wickets. I'm very disappointed with the way that I think bringing on Labuschagne was a bit of an interesting one. I think his bowling figures were very ordinary. They're probably trying to buy a wicket rather than anything else, so it wasn't exactly something of a bowling marvel. Pat Cummins brought himself on a few times. It worked early on. We got wickets. But in MALAN, who is a selection that I was applauding all the way along, and I think I did tell you all to watch out for MALAN in Australia, he's proven it. He and Zach Crawley are two players that clearly are worthy of having in the side. You might find Zach Crawley gets a Guernsey later on. Let's hope he does, as that would be a great situation. So, COVID symptoms in mind? No, I'm just coughing. Day 3 was England's, absolutely. So this confirms that England's abysmal performance on day 1 was because of conditions and weather. I think so. Sydney is not freezing. North England in December is freezing, literally. Sorry, it's cold here, Tim Wilton Davies. It's bloody cold. Stark look is a bit low. He does. I was found wanting. Then I haven't got COVID symptoms at all. Hobart is hosting a fit test now. Josh, that is what we're hearing, but it's not confirmed. I actually asked Cricket Australia directly about that today, and they can't confirm it. Although the Sydney paper, Sydney Morning Herald, has come out with an I'm going with that story that Hobart is all but confirmed, which is we'll have to wait and see what the story is. It's all but confirmed. That means it's been confirmed in the back rooms, but not necessarily by way of an official decision just yet. Okay, we'll wait and see. Australians quick to need a wicket. England, look, Joe Root, we know, is an amazing form. Look, Joe Root's stats in overall success here have been superlative. He got out for a duck, of course, in the first innings to a good delivery, but he's far from on a duck today. He's 86 of 158 balls, with MALAN supporting him beautifully, 80 off 177. Rory Burns, well, he didn't get out first ball today. He didn't even face the first ball. He didn't have, I would argue, the guts to face the first ball. But we had, he batted with Hamid. Hamid, again, did all the steady things, got 27. And the first things, what did he get? He got 20, 25 in the first thing, 27 in the second. It's not good enough, but it certainly is a lot better than what Burns did. Zach Crawley is a name to remember. He has been part of the team, left it somewhat. He's still in the squad. He could well be one of the people selected. Stokes looks injured. Don't you think he's going to come? Yeah, he's meant to be coming in next. I'm sure he will. Will Root break the record of highest run getter in a calendar year? Well, he's getting very, very close, isn't he? Well, he's just got this test and the Adelaide test to do it, and the early part of in fact, the majority of the Melbourne test. So he's got a fair few tests to do it in. Yeah, he could go. How many runs does he need? Beautiful drawings. Can you tell me how many runs he needs? Do you have an idea of how many runs he needs? He's going to go close. He's going to go very close. So, we had test debuts by Alex Carey. We know he's kept well again today. Paul Rifle, Rod Tucker, your umpires with TV umpire Paul Wilson. Sam Nagajewski is the the reserve umpire, with, of course, match referee and David Boone. We're not really sure yet about. Well, there is this problem. They're not using the snicker. There's certain technical problems with the computer work, the actual the DRS system itself. They're having problems with it. They're meant to fly people in from, would you believe, Adelaide, I think even WA, I think it may be, who are meant to be experts, but they haven't been able to come because of COVID restrictions on their departure. There's no reason why. And it's Brisbane, of course. They've got the 2-week problem there. It'll probably be up and running in the second test. That's a lapse not to have those people available. So 1,500 runs in this year. Okay, so he's getting close. More day-night games, please. It's nighttime here. Okay, Tim. I'm sorry. When I'm all your summer up till the crack of dawn and late at night watching your stuff, I'm not complaining. Hello, sir. How are you? That's PS. Okay. Tim Walton Davies, it's your problem. You get up bloody late if you have to. So what? You should have been up. It's now what time is it in England? It's 8:09 in the morning. Dana Cox, I don't know what you're saying there. Saying something unusual. Yeah. All right. So we'll go through it again for those that may have just joined us. Day 4 is very important for both teams. Every session is going to be important from now on. I think Australia, we've got to get a few wickets. At the moment, England are 2 for 220. That's a magnificent scoreline. They need at least something around the region of 58 runs to make it a clear slate and start again. So effectively 2 for 0, which is nothing to be worried about. It's not a bad situation to be in. So they've done a great job. They're 2 for 220. They didn't lose any late wickets, which they were hoping for. Of course, we're all hoping for Nathan Lyon to get his 400th wicket, but he isn't. Tim Walton Davies is still dark in the UK at 8 or 9 a.m. That's your bloody problem. If you live in England, you've got to put up with that. If Australia win the test, we all know it'll be 5-0. No, Josh Adam, that's very conclusive and very unlikely to be the case. That's not when you play test matches after a year or so. Well, no, what are you talking about there, beautiful drawings? The reality is there's a lot of positivity out of this, indeed, and you'll be able to see what's going on, no doubt about that at all. So, look, Australia is still expected to win this test match. It's going to take a lot for England to do the same again tomorrow. They score a further 220 tomorrow, then they'll be 100 and what will they be in front? They'll be in front some 162 or thereabouts. If they get another 220 tomorrow, they'll be 162 in front. There you go. They get the further 162 in front, so there's still not enough in front. Who bowled the best for both teams in the test overall so far? Well, Pat Cummins got 5 wickets in the first innings, so you've got to commend him for that. In the second, in the England innings, Mark Wood took 3, Ollie Robinson took 3, so they both were probably the pick of the bowlers. So that would have been the situation there in that situation. So how are you rating Pato's captaincy? Well, in the first innings, he had everything go his way. His bowlers all were on song, including himself, taking 5 for 38. They had all that for 147. He had everything go his way. In the batting department, well, Labuschagne and Dave Warner took control, and then eventually Travis said blew them away with a magnificent 152 and looked like they had it in hand. But today's captaincy, while England were batting well, was a little bit. It showed a few cracks in Pat Cummins' bowling decisions, and the use of lack of Hazelwood, unless he's injured. We'll see what happens if if there's an injury to Hazelwood, then that's understandable. But if there's no injury to Hazelwood, why wasn't he bowling more? Labuschagne was a buy-me type wicket bowler, and he didn't do any good at all. He was smacked around. Lyon was pretty disappointing, I must say. So, yeah, Pat Cummins didn't show out to be a great tactician today. Anyway, please don't cry. I'm not crying. Robot, there are plenty of messages coming through. Rohit Sharma, United Extra. Rohit, okay. 10 overs left for the new ball. It'll be key for Aussie to win the match. You would think that would be a major thing, but if these two, both Root and MALAN, can survive these 10 overs and get into that period of time, then they'll probably have a good situation where they'll be able to lead the match quite distinctly. And that's where the key will be. If those Root and MALAN survive the first 10 to 20 overs and then take on the new ball bowling with their batting histories, both getting centuries. I mean, they're both within 20 and 14 runs respectively to get their centuries. Shouldn't be thinking about that, but it'll be on their mind somewhat. You keep skipping my messages. I'm unsubscribed. Rohit Gupta, mate. I don't know. England batting out day 4. Yeah, okay, Norman being salty. What are you talking about, Rohit? I have been answering everybody's messages. Why was Stark so poor today? I don't know why Stark was so poor today at all. The fact is that Stark just isn't the bowler he used to be, I'm afraid. Root needs 250 more runs in 4 innings to break the record of the calendar year, and he's going to do it, I think. The way he's going, certainly he's going to do it. How are you rating? We talked about Palace captaincy. Rohit, that's fine. You keep threatening that. It's not going to worry me. Absolutely, mate. Lyon really was a bit low. I'm not seeing that zip and he's bowling like he used to. Look, he's got to forget this 400th wicket. It's not that important. He's got 399 wickets. Whether he gets one more or 2 more is not going to make him a good or bad bowler. He needs to forget that. For a person that's already taken 399 wickets, he shouldn't be worried about one. Thoughts on Stark always struggling in the second innings and Lyon so out of form and not bowling outside off at some. Yeah, it's true. They're both struggling. Really got to think about. I think Adam Zampa should come to the side, and I also think that Jai Richardson maybe due as well. The pitch doesn't hold up. Spinners keeping the run rate below 6 seems improbable. Spinners might play some role on day 5. Well, Lyon's going to have to come into his own if that's the case, because he certainly is bowled. What did he bowl today? He bowled. Let's see what Lyon's bowled. 24 overs, the most out of any of the bowlers. None for 69. So his economy rate was good at 2.87 of 4 maidens. Mitchell Stark bowled 14 overs, 1 for 60, economy rate of 4.28. Hazel only bowled the 8 overs, which is really low for him. Cummins bowled 14, and Cameron Green bowled 7. And was he the addition to Hazelwood? We don't know. Marnus Labuschagne 3 overs were all very short and could have went for a hell of a lot more. When Stark leaks 1, he leaks big. He also was being smacked in all parts by Kane in the World Cup final. Exactly. If you're England, what target will you set for the Aussies? As many as you can get. I think England will bat out. They've still got 2 full days of play. So really, there's a lot of time there in terms of there's a lot of time to go in that situation. What's his comments? No COVID restrictions. At this point, it's pretty. What happened to Australia? I don't know. I think Pat Cummins was put under a bit of pressure, and I think that may have been evidenced by the way that he captained. To be honest, I don't think he's been captaining that well today. I think he had a pretty ordinary day. So, but not only did he have an ordinary day, the whole team had an ordinary day. Yeah, so there's a lot to be said about the bowling, really. You're right. He got it. Needs to get. What is he supposed to do? You're right. He's going to need to forget about 400, but they still respect him. Australia's deck. Like, look, he's got 399 wickets. Brilliant. The only thing all these can do now is bowl a tight line and expect a leg before, or vary the pace. Talk about heads 150. I think 112 that he scored yesterday was absolutely amazing. The 40 today, albeit not bad, it wasn't quite as swashbuckling as yesterday's performance, but that's typical. You normally go big in one day and you'll have a bit of a lull day after that. So his 152 was still magnificent. He got out in the end, but he did very well. Hazelwood didn't bowl after today, that's right, which was very unusual. I'm thinking injury. They're actually saying they may have rested him for the second innings. I don't think so. Josh Adams says head was really good today. He needs to play in this way, attacking. If he was really attacking today, it would have been almost 200. But he did brilliantly. There's nothing wrong with the way he played at all. At all. It was fantastic play, actually. So, the Australian team lacked a bit of variety in the bowling. Lyon did not do that well. Stark started quite okay. Cummins was his usual good best. Hazelwood didn't bowl enough. We don't know why. Labuschagne shouldn't have bowled at all, unless they were trying to buy a wicket. Still 65-35 Australia advantage to me. In extra time, yeah, look, it's still in Australia's favour because England might only get 100 runs, so therefore they're only 42 in front. But the way they're going, if they go slowly but surely through the next session tomorrow, there's still 2 down, well, then we're in for a test match because they'll knock off 58. It could be 50-odd in front. If they get 200 in front, I don't think that's enough still. I think Australian batters under the conditions should be able to muster 200, but it'll make the game a lot more interesting. It'll be certainly, they may not win this test match, England, but they'll put themselves in a position to do well for the next test match. If Root smashes 100 tomorrow and Stokes plays a cameo innings, do you think England can have a chance to fight back? They certainly do. Whether they can win, we don't know. They can fight back, though. This is where leg spinners can be effective when you have a pitch. Kumla used to bowl spin at medium paces to counter the leg spinner. Freddie used to do it a bit harder for. Okay, the reality is we haven't got Freddie or Kumla on the side. Nathan Lyon's not at his best, and I don't think Leach is that good. Root has proved why he's one of the best batsmen of all he has. If he gets a century here, he certainly has. After getting a duck in the first innings, he's recovered very well. Who do you think is going to be the first change between Stark, Hazel, and Cummins? Do you think Jai Richardson's getting any chance in the series? Yes, I do. I think it'll be Stark, unless there's an injury to the other people. I told you England would. You did, Manu John. You're always pretty good at that. Root versus Smith. Who is better, according to you? Root has to be. If they tire our bowlers with a quick backup, we need to bring in Jai for Adelaide. Yes, I would agree with that. It could well be Mitchell Stark that'll go. That's my thoughts. We'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. So I can happily say I've got all 5 days of the SCG tests all lined up. So Michael Nessa at day 2 on stumps. Nessa claimed 5 for 29 off from 15.3 overs as England Lions were dismissed for 103. Australia A is 1 for 158 at stumps, a lead of 268 with Bryce Street 76 not out. There you go. Pretty good. There we are. 7 Grays just reported that. which is not a bad effort there. So we're going to have interviews with MALAN, Labuschagne and David Malan coming soon. They'll be recorded and used in the broadcast when they come through. They're not here yet. We're going to wait for that to happen. Let's have a look here. So I'll get rid of it. I've got a bit of a posting I'm making now to the... Well, let's just get this. So Bryce Street, I don't know much about Bryce Street. This Hunt fellow too. So Bryce Street got 76. So Australia are giving England Lions a bit of a thumping as well. Let's have a look. So from Ian. From Ian Healy Oval. No, Michael, that's day 2 or something. Nessa claimed 5 for 29 after 15.3 overs, as the English Lions were dismissed for 103. That's a pretty ordinary score. Australia A is 1 for 158, a lead of 2 Bryce Street getting runs. There we go. Now it looks like Ashes. Yes, it does. It's a good way of putting it. They need to revise Fab 4, Coley, Steve, Griffin, and they are out of contention. I don't know. Who's Stevie Griffin? So talking about the local part, that's true. The changes I see for the Adelaide Test at this point in time, well, you'd have to think Jai Richardson will be probably brought into the Australian side. Therefore, we're looking at a bowling change. England may consider Zach Crawley. I'm not sure. And definitely Broad and Anderson are back, maybe in the place of Leach, and possibly on another bowlers, either Wokes or Wood, but I think Wood will stay with Robertson. Wokes may be the one to go. And Cementity's place for now, certainly. And you would think that Usman Khawaja may have to replace Marcus Harris at that time. Josh, and how the weather up there in Sydney, mate, is something like that. Isn't you're always saying it's free? It is freezing. It's cold. The temperature. What's the temperature here? Let me have a look at the temperature. Temperature was around 17 degrees Celsius. 17 degrees. 17 degrees Celsius is the temperature, which is pretty bloody ordinary. It's now what time is it? It's now 7:24 p.m. and we've got 17 degrees Celsius. Not warm at all. Look at India that only lost the pinball test match pink ball test match last year and won all of the rest. That's true. Don't forget, India were all out for 36 against Australia. It looked like Australia were going to smash them. Maybe Joe Burns got runs. Then Kohli went home. It looked like a disaster. But Rahane pulled them together in Melbourne, won the test. Sydney and drew that test, and then they won the GABBA test. So England could well get themselves through this. They're coming back well. After Heads 150, I think he'll play the entire series. Yes. Instead of trying to target, England need to bat till tea tomorrow. Exactly. They're going to have to try to target 258 by tea tomorrow. As a lot of runs, 258 in 2 sessions, 258. That's probably a bit too many. If they get that towards the end of the day, but that still leaves a day to play. I think that's a fair situation. If they target small, Steve should be at number 3 to give him some time as he is trying to bat too fast. Yeah. Who was that said that? Yep. Okay. Tim Wilton Davies, it's coming home. The Ashes are coming home. Let's think. Tim Wilton Davies, now you're getting carried away the other way around. No one should be getting carried away the other way. Satvic conditions, mate. Conditions, as I said, were again. They've gotten through 2 days worth of play, haven't they? Only the first day where they actually had the rain affect the last session of the day. Day 2 and day 3 have been pretty much not been interrupted by rain. It's 39 where I am on Monday. So where are you United Extra Time if it's 39 where you are on Monday? Quick talk with Himanshu Chowdhury says, hi, how are you? Good. England need to keep faith with Leach. he has to play all 5 tests. Well, they haven't got much choice. Dom Bess is the only other person they got. Arguus Meta, Labuschagne should open as he is already in by the 3rd or 4th. Interesting. No, he shouldn't be. They should be getting an appropriate person in the bat of that situation. Darwin Bland's calm and composed was really great to see. It was. He batted fantastically. I have a lot of time for him, actually. I picked him a lot earlier. I met him a couple of years ago. I met him 2.5 years ago. I met Darwin Bland 2.5 years ago at Lords in the area where would you call it, the nursery ground in the nets, and we talked and we had a bit of a chat. I picked him to be the next person to get back and say, I'm right. Don't worry, Australia will win today. England will collapse. I don't know whether they're going to collapse this. I still think Australia's tests are still far behind. They're 58 runs behind at the moment. 58 runs behind. It's not exactly far behind. I wouldn't go that far. Root has good chances to turn up the heat even more tomorrow. He could score very big. We know he can score big. People are criticising BCCI for the sacking Coley, not giving it to Root. What's my thoughts on that? Well, I actually think that Rowett's time in T20 he announced. Maybe he didn't want to go with the ODIs. Maybe they gave him a gentle push. I don't think they pushed him hard. I think they gave him a gentle push. He's still going to play all 3 formats. He'll still be Test captain. Don't forget he's got the best record in all 3 formats. England all out before lunch from day 4. I don't think so. Australia are killing it. Believe me, England will not win. The series, we don't know. Early couple wickets tomorrow morning would start the match for Australia. You're right. How are you? Do you think Steve would come back better in the 4th innings than other Test matches? Well, yeah, you'd hope so. 70 over on old ball, mate. You got good. I know I'm coughing. I've got nothing wrong. I've got no COVID. I'm just overweight, basically. That's all, guys. Don't panic. It's a dry cough. It's a dry cough. It's not a bad cough. So there you go. I can actually put up the scores if you want me to. So I can put a banner and put up the scores. So put it here. I've got it there. We can actually add up to it. England are England are 2 for 220. There we are. So all that for 425. England are 2 for 220. That's a pretty good looking scorecard, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's not. I'm not live from Coogee Beach though. I'm live for the SCG now. Anyway, we're going to save that. We're going to put in 10 overs, old ball, England will lose. 1 wicket, England going to face a new ball. Well, they can. Do you think Jadeja will not play will actually disturb the balance of the team in the upcoming South Africa tour? Look, not having Jadeja is a bit like not having Ben Stokes. They are both incredibly important players for their team. With Jadeja, batting and bowling and fielding is of great importance. I think he's an important cog. He adds to their batting. So I would say Ben Stokes not playing well and Jadeja not playing are big cogs in their team's wheel. What? Not so. How is the COVID situation in New South Wales, Victoria? I heard cases are rising slightly. Hope it doesn't affect national. Well, good question. The people's vaccination rates, double dose vaccination is the key. We've got something like 95%, especially in New South Wales and Victoria, so we haven't got a problem. Queensland's opening up their borders on Monday. Adelaide's pretty much right. WA are not, but who cares? They haven't got any test cricket. Northern Victoria, Norman near the Murray River. Is that where you are? Okay. Cases are rising slightly in there, but they're nothing to worry about. Should MALAN change gear tomorrow and Root play the second fiddle? Not necessarily. If they're doing well, they might ebb and flow. You're right. There may be some sort of a change between the two. MALAN is a fantastic batsman. I've rated him for some time, and I think I mentioned his capabilities well before. So, I think we've got a lot to be happy about there. Any other question, guys? Should MALAN change gear? No, as I said before, no, I don't think you should. Our numbers were usually pretty good with this show. So, okay. I'm getting some more questions about the England, the Indian teams. Okay, Giant, Axar, Sunda are good replacements of Ashwin and Jays as they are capable all-rounders in their own right. You're right. Giant, I don't know much about him, but he seems pretty good. Axar Patel's fantastic. Washington Sunda didn't get a berth. So, look, there's replacements afoot. Don't worry. If Jadeja was injured and missing for 5 to 6 months, it'll be interesting to see what CSK are going to do since they retained him at almost 16 crow. Well, but his sheer presence, even if he doesn't play, they tend to really like him having around. Are you following the BBL? Yeah, I was at the Sixers match a few days ago when they smashed Melbourne Stars, and here at the SCG tomorrow, I think they're playing Hobart Hurricanes, if I'm not wrong. I'll be going to that as well. So, yeah. So, well, it's interesting. I've got emails to say that I've gotten to. There's been a ballot. I'm a member of the SCG, but there's also a ballot system for the SCG, and that involves putting in a ballot, even though you got $thousands worth of tickets. And from that, if I look at the situation, I've got a successful for all 5 days. So we are pleased to advise you that you have been successful in securing tickets for day one. All right. Day 1, day 2, day 3, successful. Day 4, successful. So that's all 4 days. Happy with that. Very happy with that indeed. Because we don't normally get that. We don't have the success. SB on demand. Arthur Wren. There we have. Everything's gone well. So, all other teams just don't look that good. Let's look. Yes, Sydney Sixers going to win this year. I think they've got a great side. You're right. I would agree with that. Angel Wings, no name. For someone who doesn't watch much cricket, you're very well informed about Indian roster. Arun Singh, was great to watch the match live and soak up the atmosphere stay at the GABBA. This partnership is looking a bit settled now. England could go on to get a decent lead on day 4. I agree, Arun Singh. Absolutely. Hello, Angel. Told you before I read and analysed a lot about cricket, just not interested in watching them. Okay. So where is Aussie-England test headed? You'd have to think still in favour of Australia to win, but England are making a fist of it, which is good to see. Very, very good to see indeed. Very, very, very comfortable to see that. I'm happy enough about that. That's made it a lot better. David Speaks making comments. Manslow reacted to my cat watching the cricket. Where is everybody? it's been a very frustrating day indeed for Australia, not for England this time. Just them 5-0 Australia. It won't be 5-0 Australia, I can assure you. England, I think it's going to be 2-2, and the fifth test will decide all, and it'll be very interesting. England and Australia players are in by a bubble like last summer, or is it relaxed? It seems a little bit more relaxed because they've been in Australia for a while now. Which player has impressed you as in the BBL? Josh Philippe looked great. Adam Zampa, as always, even Stephen O'Keefe. They're all very, very good. When is the IPL auction? I think it's the pre-part of it's already done. Josh and Zakir Khan, what is this? Who are you mentioning? What would be the strategy tomorrow to get Joe Root and MALAN out? Of course. What is the strategy to get them out? I think the strategy would be around getting bowling tight to both Root and MALAN, of course. We got some famous rugby players there. There's a fair bit of carry on there at the moment. There's some locals carrying on here. Just a fast in-swing. So what would the strategy? The strategy should be what they had for the first thing. They both got Root and MALAN out with good balls outside of stump. Cummins is the key to all of that, I would say. Why don't you read and let us know? Hazelwood not bowling the third three season. Well, basically, we'll find out more about Hazelwood as we get closer. But at this stage, it looks like there's an issue. I think there may be an injury with Hazelwood, or they're keeping him back for the purposes of. But you don't want to just have this situation where you hold players back based on what you're saying. It's just ridiculous. I can't imagine that being the case. So here we are. We've got the Darwin MALAN and Marcus Labuschagne interviews. Here we're going to try and export this now or save the video. So, do you think sacking Virat as ODI captain was a good move for? I don't think the word sacking is a bit too sensationalised, really. Renshaw or Nessa are doing good in the Lions game. I know Michael Nessa certainly is. I saw that, and also a guy called Bryant is also there. Be nice if we can get this. Yes. I'll try and get. I'll get some help there from a partner. Yes. All right. So Virat fans are now boycotting Team India and BC's. Oh, well, they shouldn't be doing that because he's still on the side. He's still going to be an important player. He's been the captain for a long time. Preston weather is crazy. Sometimes clear blue skies. Another time for a hailstorm. You're right. Was the Royals? No, he wasn't. He was just. They basically urged him to go down. Okay. Question in the blue. It says live from the SCG, England and Australia, all out. Don't you mean GABBA? No, I'm actually live at the GABBA, Rob Muller. I'm actually live. It's me that's live. So I'm the one that's live currently talking to you. from the So you say Norman live from the SCG. At the GABBA. So I'm actually here. Okay, let's correct that. So Norman is live from the GABBA. Okay. Not a fan, just an honest question. No, I don't think it's necessarily. Coley stood down for the T20 captaincy. We know that from the ODI situation. He has certainly knew his time was to come. Maybe there was a bit of discussion. Maybe he wasn't so happy, but he still did it. That may be the case. The T20 ODIs, he will be playing still. Robert Sharma will captain. That's great. And to go back to the captaincy of the Test, it'll always be Virat Kohli while he wants it to be. Virat Kohli. Not a fan. I'm just asking, happy England making 10th minute match interesting. Certainly, I'm very glad that they are. Ever been to the live same match, especially Ashes? Josh Harbour, I've been to all of them. Not today's, it's not the first test because of the COVID situation, but I'm going to be at the next test in Adelaide. Josh, Adam, never you. Okay. Some businessmen that must have been at an event. There's certain ties at the SCG. Some corporatised event. England fights back. This was expect from top team like England. You're right. England are a top side, and they've deservedly so come back. Not sure what this is all about. State of origin, okay. All right. Okay, we've got our videos saved to photos. Let's have a look at this. That's good. And duplicate them. And put it there. Okay. So, England, good batting. No wrong decision. Sorry. Okay. England, okay. There was a funny tweet I read. Team India was run by Bollywood actress Pride with Ganguly and quoted a tweet. Anushka was vouching for Kedesh. Okay. Rasta House. Fair play to England. They fought hard today. Will actually make it an interesting match. I agree. Lloyd look around, look like he's been careful in the hood. England versus Australia, what a rivalry it certainly is. Sarah J, fifth test match is also a day night, if not Perth, whereas it was. Look, today there's been public discussion about Hobart taking the fifth test. Hasn't been confirmed by Cricket Australia, but there's enough discussion in certain papers that's been leaked that in fact Cricket Australia will be agreeing to having the fifth test in Hobart and probably a day nighter. We'll see, but it's a Hobart. It's been officially announced. Okay, so we'll see it more than likely in Hobart. I can't see it not going there. So we'll duplicate these videos, edit, and work out when. There we go. Okay, so we've got a new video clip. So England takes the tournament biggest lead, then anything happens. It's true. And Norm represents blood. He is straight from the ghetto. There we go. I guess that's good. No rivalry bigger than India Pakistan, but this one's close second. Well, they're both big, aren't they? Why Josh Hazlewood didn't bowl? Good question. We need to find out. There's no evidence why Josh Hazlewood did not play. They could bring back England versus West Indies. Well, that was interesting. Well, England versus West Indies, Australia versus West Indies was also a great rivalry. Of course, there were great rivalries right across the board. I'll just see what the story is here. I'll be uploading, the various, like Marnus Labuschagne has had a bit of a chat. Why isn't Moeen Ali playing 11? He's actually retired. I thought you all knew that. Moeen Ali is actually retired from this format, as far as I'm aware. Marnus Labuschagne. So the media conference today was Marnus Labuschagne. Post day three. Ashes first test. It's a big one. Oh. So England fight back. Would you call it a fight back? Yeah, they call it a. There we go. I'm just putting that up, guys. So any questions? Where are you going? Where am I going? I'm not going anywhere. Pakistan versus Zimbabwe is the bigger rivalry. It's likely. Okay. But he ain't got any got no. Nor was Ajaz Patel before he came in there. Like, look at him now, he's verified on Twitter. Don't tell me Indo in Australia is bigger than Indo Pakistan. I guess so. Okay. Let's not get too carried away with that. The fact is that, the Ashes is still the biggest one other than Indonesia. Other than the Ashes is it's a traditional rivalry. We all know that, okay? So we've got to be careful with what we say there. You've got to give Joe Root some credit for his performance today, don't you, Joe Root? And Marnus Labuschagne. No, that's not a bad effort by him, really. You got to give him some sort of credit there. But he didn't bat today. He bowled, which wasn't really what I would call impressive. there we go. So just tabling that. So add to the playlist, Ashes Fans Membership. And Bob's your uncle. Why Hazel didn't bowl? It's a continuing question. I've yet to get a rivalry for what. It's likely England stubbed their own toe, and I'm blaming you. Look, it's a great rivalry. Oh, we're not talking about quality or rank. We're talking about rivalry. Pay attention. It's Aussies versus England, West Indies, South Africa next year. Is that what Robert Miller? Did I say Pakistan, didn't I? I said Pakistan and West Indies. My apologies. Is it South Africa and West Indies? Okay. My apologies. I'm sorry about that. Did you check, did you? I thought it was Pakistan were definitely coming. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Can't always be right. So what are they, 18 minutes. David MALAN was fantastic today. I got to give him a lot of credit for his interview. He was media conference, courtesy of the ECB. David MALAN, I mean, he's a man I want to listen to what he has to say. David MALAN, very cool, collected character. He'd have to say. He'll be very happy with the way the match went. Post day 2, actually post day 3. Ask me some more questions. Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, I checked on Cricket Australia website. My apologies, Roy. I thought it was Pakistan for sure. So South Africa, West Indies. I think I said Pakistan, West Indies. Yeah, I checked. Okay. Egypt doesn't become another Cameroon there, and I won't think he will be. Exactly, no name. You already know he will. Okay. Post day 3. What would you call this? Ashes. First test. England fights. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good summary. I'm going to premiere this second video. So, okay, what do we got here for commentary here? What's next? Rohan Kohli, Australia versus Pakistan. Dead. He goes to Australia. Wins 68, and the club team wins only 32. Okay, all right. Mystery surrounds Hazelwood's vanishing act and injury concerns grow. It's breaking on Fox Sports. Yeah, it's interesting. It's going to be interesting to see what will be anticlimactic. Hope you guys to play some tests. It would be. Put a pulse oximeter on your finger, Norman. You've been coughing a lot. I will, Angela. I will. I'm talking too much. That's what it really is. You want to know the honest opinion? I'm just talking too much. That is the reason why. So Australia versus England. And of course, we've got Darwin Malan. Did you know that? D8. Hey Norman, hi Cricket Legends, how are you? Angel wins is the world #1 test team. India is we knew that. We've never any doubt about that. Never any doubt about that. Never any doubt about that. Darwin.
Obvious. Let's not get the job done for you.
Can't put that on. Darwin MALAN doesn't seem to have any name. It's and Joe Root, of course. Let's just see what MALAN has and it comes up. Okay, all right. So what do you call it a fight back, guys? I want your thoughts about it. Is it a fight back that we're saying? Without a doubt. 603. There we are. All playlist, ashes, blah, blah. I'll blow the memo. Okay. So, it's not, you ain't winning a tangent argument with a kid. You've got some classic conversations going on here, guys. Let's get back to the fact. We want to talk about rivalries here. Let's talk about rivalries for a second, okay? Rivalries. Australia versus England Ashes has been going on since 1800s. It's a rivalry which is based on an urn, which is burning of bales, which is the Ashes. That's tradition-wise number one. Number two, India versus Pakistan since 1947-48, whenever it was, has led to a further development of a rivalry between India and Pakistan. Australia versus the West Indies. In the 70s, when you had the big fire, that was a rivalry. England versus West Indies had a rivalry as well. India and now with Australia have a new rivalry that's been fairly new. India and New Zealand have a rivalry. Australia and New Zealand have a local rivalry. And there's a whole host of rivalries you'd have to include. Even Bangladesh would have its own rivalries as well. In parts of South Africa, we probably have rivalries which we're really not fully aware of with Zimbabwe. We don't know whether they challenge each other greatly. But quick legends, I believe we'll see 2 centuries tomorrow. I think that Root will get a big one, and Darwin MALAN certainly deserves it too. So we are seeing some. You're saying we're seeing some action on the front there. Let's have a look here. I don't know what the story is with that yet, but yeah, Josh Hazelwood certainly is hitting the press with some concerns about what happened to him. But there's no mention of it, though. There's no discussion about it, which is interesting, which makes it even more dark. So don't ignore anybody, okay? Stop this ignore, but my money is on Root getting 200. Well, quick lesson, I certainly hope so. Burning a ball and crying about it is not rivalry norm. Okay, India-Pakistan rivalry is huge. I've got no doubt about that. MALAN and Root put up big third wicket stand as England fight back, and that's the words everyone's using. Visitors have, have ended the third day well. Well, certainly true. I don't see any sign of any. I don't know what the story is with. I don't see much evidence regarding the whole Hazelwood affair, and Ben Stokes is also carrying an injury. I'm not talking about David Warner. David Warner has a distinct set of rib injuries that he didn't take the field today. Jai Richardson been on there with a guy called what was his name again? I forgot the guy's name. The guy that came on the field. Kobe or what was the name of the I used for it? Yes, so is that the guy that came on the field today? He plays for Gold Coast Dolphins. Did you see him? Let's have a look. I'm going to put some lights on you guys because you obviously can't see me. Who was the guy? There was a guy that came on the field today. I'm just having a look at this MALAN situation. When that comes through, either one just comes through. Let's have a look here. While I'm looking through, there was a discussion about let's have a look. Hang on. Hugo Burden. Burden. Anyone heard of Hugo Burden? I haven't. He basically just got himself a Guernsey. God knows. Hugo Burden got the Guernsey. We're losing percentages here. I'm going to turn the damn thing. Turn the volume down. I'm going to get some juice into the phone here. Music going on there, guys. Can you hear that music? Can we have that music? Oh, thank God I've got the music turned off because I had the music going crazily there for a minute. I have to wait for this whole thing to start. Got the engine running now. You probably hear the engine running. New comments. Don't know. BPL start January. What's the BPL? The BBL. It started now. Why do people making comments? Are you sure that music wasn't copyrighted? I hope not, because it was on for a split second, and I'll get it muted. I'll have to go back and get that part muted, won't I? Oh, what a pain in the butt that is. All right. Hugo Burden was his name, correct. Hugo Burden, who was playing for the Gold Coast Dolphins. Like Neville Nobody is another way of putting his name. Got his chance as a 12th man on the field today. What is BPL, below poverty line? Maybe that's what it is. I think they mean BBL. Yeah, so will there be a day when we'll see Indian superstars in the big bags? That would also mean Indian players alongside Pakistan players. Well, why not? But the IPL probably don't want that to lose a centre of gravity. That means their control, which is very unfortunate indeed. I think that's really quite unfortunate, to be honest. I must say. Really, it is disgraceful that Indian players don't play here. We play in the IPL happily. So it's about time some Indian players played in Australia. I think that maybe they're trying to not take away from, well, they're getting paid a lot of money to play for the IPL, millions. So they're getting paid a lot of millions to play for the IPL, and the contract says don't play for anyone else. They're going to obey by it. What would you do? Want to get millions of dollars for the IPL and miss out on the BBL? I think that's what the reason is. It's clearly a monetary issue. Former Indian captain will be playing in BBL next year. That's right. He's out of IPL altogether. Bangladesh Premier League. Now we've got a BPL. That's also there for sure. It's a rather big situation, you'd have to admit. Umuk Chand, correct, is a former Indian captain that we play in the BBL. Umuk Chand, of course, this is the man we're talking about. Absolutely. Hazelwood's injury, I'm not seeing any evidence of what's going on with that. We'll have to wait a minute before that goes on. It can't be very far away. We'll get more on that. Angel Wings tell me, brother, who is the top team of the world nowadays? It has to be India. I agree. BCCI should allow India players to play the Big Bash and other leagues. In fact, encourage them. I would agree. Harsh Kumar. Why not? But the point is that if you're getting paid on a contractual basis by the IPL to be exclusive to them and not be diluted into other competitions, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. And I have to be fair. As be fair to that, you have to be fair to that. I think that's a reasonable situation. And if you're on Star Sports or if you're on Channel 7, Foxtel, and they pay you a lot of money, millions, to stay on the one channel, you're not going to go and be on the interviewing Channel 10 or Times of India or whatever. You're going to stick to your channel. How was Chund on exile? He didn't get an opportunity to move to a greener pasture just like you, Angel. Look, he's decided not to play IPL. He's gone to BBL. Great, good on him. Robin, I just followed you on Twitter, and I tweeted at Gilchrist, is Hazelwood engine following him on Twitter. Okay, I just followed you on Twitter, me, and I tweeted at Gilchrist, is Hazelwood injured following Twitter? We'll soon find out. We'll soon find out, you're right. I'm not a big Twitter person, but I'll have to get more into Twitter, I'm sure, over time. Barmy Army's going nuts at the moment. To include me. Rob Aussie's following okay. I'll follow you back. So what did you say, Rob? Any messages I can see? Okay, so let's have a look here then. All right, I'm seeing it now. All right. Oh, every time I press this button. We've got to get this all sorted, don't we? The community page button. Okay. I did paste that ESPN discussion we had about MALAN and Root. MALAN and Root put up. They really batted well. They've turned this test upside down. Ebbs and flows. This is what's going to happen in this test series a lot. Get ready for it, guys. Hold on to your hats. This is only the beginning of this. It's not going to be much more to worry about. It's going to be on and on and on and on. It's going to be endless amounts of this ebbs and flows. On a live chat at the moment. Say hello. Okay, it's all right. All right, so I'll talk to you a bit later. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. Ciao. That was Lakshya Silva from the Sri Lankan cricket team. We've just arrived back in Sri Lanka. They were in quarantine for extra period of time in Zimbabwe due to COVID, and they've returned back to Sri Lanka. So there we go. That's a bit of an update there for you regarding those people. So where is this picture? I'm trying to get a hold of a picture here. So hello, Akshay Raghavanshi. It seems that Kohli isn't watchful enough currently. Arsene Gilchrist. Okay. Angel, remember, Unmooks is currently representing. Yeah, well, there shouldn't be no problems with that, should there? Mighty effort. My question is, I'm going to put it here. Has Hazelwood injured himself? Warner has bruised ribs. Okay. Who'd be the cricketer of the year at the moment? Joe Root has to go bloody close, certainly. If he gets the most runs in the season. Angel Wings, I'm Indian. For me, England versus Australia is the biggest rivalry. I agree. Who'd be the cricketer of the year has to be. And there's certainly lots of big kuahunas going on here. Oops. What's happening? I'll upload the same bloody video twice, have I? No, I haven't. We need another thumbnail for that damn Joe Root one. Fancy playing the same. Why have they got the same one? There we are. There it is. It's better. David MALAN. There we have it. That's better. It's really stuffed up. They've got pictures of both, both these blokes, and we only need the one. Once you go public with a video, it takes a bit of work on. Norman brother, top rivalry in cricket is England versus Australia, England versus India versus Australia, and Pakistan versus Zimbabwe. Pakistan versus Zimbabwe? No, Pakistan versus India. Australia versus England, India versus Australia, England versus India, and India versus Pakistan. They're the big ones for sure. Joe Root would have to be Cricket of the Year. I said that. Tell another agree. Why they picked? It's disturbing the way that Joe. Look, you guys, you have to come to terms with the fact that Australia have the rivalry of Australia versus England in the Ashes. Put that to one side. We know that. Australia, India have a new rivalry, especially after early this year. India versus England are amazing rivalry as well. Then you look on top of that with India versus Pakistan as a rivalry that goes back quite a way. New Zealand's got to be in the mix now too. New Zealand, India, first and second in the World Test Championship, played again in quite an epic little 2-test series. Drew the first match, 9 wickets down. Second test, England won emphatically without the likes of Williamson against them. So there's your rivalries. There's multiple rivalries. Let's not make it one. Let's make it multiple. Why is Pakistan versus Zimbabwe a rivalry? Someone's record is stuck and saying, well, then why would you keep asking me the question? Why split captaincy in Asia not as successful as England? Well, it took its toll on Kohli somewhat, but he's been successful at all 3 formats. But it's time for him to take that down. Sounds like Australia is telling everybody they play against England. Well, that could be true. Will Perkowski back playing grade cricket January 8th? Well, he's unfortunately unreliable at the moment. We've talked about that already. 1 New Zealand, 2 England. No. 1 India, 2 New Zealand, 3 England and Australia. No, that's not right. Should get a hold of these videos, guys. Man of slow Jane. Good on him. Why is it continuing to show? Oh, that's really stuffed up. Discard, so let's get that out of there. Let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. Let's now look at that properly again. So what have we got going on here? That's better. I'm going to share that. Smiling Darwood MALAN. Courtesy of ECB in his case. You got to give credit where credit's due. What's that language actually? Someone got a hold of his mum's iPhone. What's this? Hello, bye. Fella, you want Instagram norm. Thanks for that. Ban this guy, for God's sake. What guy? No, we don't want to ban anyone. Leave people alone. So tell me more about what you would like to know about. And the Hazelwood issue is certainly one that needs to be discussed. It'll be quite a concerning situation for that whole thing to happen. Really, I'd have to say. And I need to get that link going. Copy link. There we go. David MALAN, what an excellent Norm and quick, mate. What? MALAN is a great emerging player, I must say. He certainly is. I don't want to miss out on this whole thing. Very unusual looking face on David MALAN. He doesn't look the best in the photo that I've seen here at all. And realistically, David MALAN showed why he's in the team, why he's actually first drop. He and Zach Crawley's the other one. Will fight his way back in, and when they both do, you'll have a good England batting side, especially in Australia. David MALAN has proven his ability here in Australia. Absolutely. Have a good photo of him. Excels. He certainly did excel, guys. He's excelled enormously. Let's give him a lot of credit for that. There's a lot to be said about him and his efforts. No doubt about that at all. And Marnus Labuschagne, he also looked pretty damn good. What's Marnus Labuschagne? Referral here. Marnus bowling, I'm not sure about his bowling. What do you reckon of his bowling? What do you reckon, guys, of his bowling? Tell me what you think of Marnus Labuschagne's bowling. Can you? What do you think of Marnus Labuschagne's bowling? Do you rate it or what? First session will be crucial. I think it'll be more than the first session than the number session. Number one cricket team in the world is not, please, lean. Okay, the number one first session. But the best Hazelwood's injured doesn't Richards bowl in Adelaide. Well, probably will be. Cricket legend used Burn all day. Hopefully it's just a niggle at start would be first out. Actually spreading love and promoting anti-burn cream called Burn All. Oh God, you guys. Hugo Burden deserves a bit of a say, really, doesn't he? What is going on here? Something's really not right there with Labuschagne's positioning of his head. Marnus bowling. Courtesy of Cricket Australia. It's not courtesy. His bowling is not courtesy of Cricket Australia. So tell me what Grumps. What's Grumps? Who's the Grumps? Am I the Grumps? I think that it was a magnificent day of cricket. I'm proud of MALAN and Root for coming back. I think it was wonderful they did so. Don't you? I think there's a great story of fight back, not unlike Ben Stokes and the way he does things. You've got to give a lot of time and credit for that, don't you? You really do. There's a lot to be learned as a team when the team can come back from adverse conditions like that. Those definitely a part-timer. He's a part-timer. But there's definitely a lot to be said about a man that can I'm trying to say, man, I'm talking about Joe Root here, and the way Joe Root and MALAN have come back. Labuschagne was, Pat Cummins was a bit of a scratchy head thing. I don't know why he was bowling, but anyway, I don't think that was well thought through. The whole Hazelwood saga will have to come out. It's too big. It's too big an issue. We need to talk about it. What can you tell me, guys? What can you tell me? I don't know about you, but there is no way I could sit in a non-moving car that long. Oh, you keep quiet, Angel. I like it. I'm talking to you guys. I'm interacting with you. Australia really struggling from overs 30 to 70 to take wickets with no ball. They are. Nathan Lyon's not doing his job. That's the question. Nathan Lyon is not doing his job. That is where the problem starts at finishing, guys. That's where we've got a real issue there with those two. There's distinctly a problem there with the situation there. You'd have to argue that you need to have a bowler that takes wickets in that interim stage, and it didn't happen the way it should have at all. So, Angel Wings, you think India versus Pakistan is the biggest rivalry? Okay, brother, who is the number one cricket team in the world? Well, the number one cricket team in the world is India. That's for sure. Okay, number one is definitely India. We know that. I think I have a bit of better light, so we've got a bit of better light here. Let's just go a bit further up. Not that it helps the light at all. It probably does, actually. It probably creates some slightly better light. Does it? At the SCG. Not much better light. Okay. Believe me, if you're in Tesla, you want to move real fast. A Tesla car. I'm not a Tesla car. I'm actually in a Kia Sportage. Okay, so there you go. You guys come up. That's all right. So let's talk about cricket. Not talk about cars and my move. Let's talk about a bit of cricket. So today's match, we'll go through the Sarah. We're at the end of the third day's play. Is it end of the third day? It's the end of the third day's play. The first day's play, obviously, Australia were well on top with England all out for 147. And then Australia went on to play. They didn't have play after the first day's play. It was 147, and then you went from 147 right through to was that both washed out, and it was also a period of bad light, not like the bad luck I'm getting now. Then we moved on to the second day's play. Australia got in at that, batted well with both David Warner and MALAN who's been interviewed today, with 90-odd and 70-odd respectively. But to finish it off, Travis Head's 112 not out was magnificent. Australia finished day 2 on 7 for 343. So already some 196 in front. This morning, and that first session, from 196 in front to 278. So Australia were all out for 425 with a 278 lead, and everything looked totally and utterly in the favour of Australia. Australia, well, they're going to wrap it up this afternoon. They're all going to go home from the GABBA somewhere by planes because the game would have been over. But no, after both Hamid and Burns went into bat, batted steadily but fell. Burns went for some 13. Hamid went for 27. They were 2 for 61. Looked like they would eventually start to fall. But no, Root and Malan changed that. Malan and Root batted steadily, strongly and successfully. Malan getting 80 runs, not out. And Joe Root, who's heading 250 runs has to get the rest of this test match, the Adelaide test, the Melbourne test, he'll get 250 and he'll be the most prolific scorer for the calendar year of 2021. Big thing. And he may well be the player of the season as well. So that's what's transpired. England are 2 for 220, chasing 278 in terms of getting into a situation where they'll make Australia bat again. Well, they've only got 58 more to go. And they'll need 58 more tomorrow on the fourth day of play, weather permitting. And then Australia will need to bat. Well, at least England will continue to bat and could go 150 to 200 runs past it, let's hope, giving Australia that many runs to get on the majority of the last day, which is going to be difficult. I like Green's bowling today, although he bowled steadily but didn't take wickets. Lots of bounce, yes. How many hundreds do you expect Steve Smith in this series? Well, Travis Head may be the one scoring more centuries, but I reckon Steve Mills will score a few, don't worry. Although I still think Australia will win this match despite England fight back. You would have to think they will. We're not saying that England are going to win this test match, but England's fight back is notable, especially for the latter part of the series. Okay. Norman, what is your opinion on Peter Schreier's influence on Kia's design over the years? Isn't Kia looking more like a German car? Kia. It does look more like a German car. I mean, the latest model I'm getting the Kia Sportage model. I'm getting that in about, I think, March, April next year. The interior is the BMW interior. Absolutely. I don't mind. It's cheaper. Same quality. I think Steelsworth get two. Fight back breathes the confidence for the Subtrasy. Gosh, how much lead England need for at least a draw? A draw, I think more than 200. How much lead does England need to at least a draw? As I said, almost 200. Not much less than 200. Yes, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. We've now got, what have we got here? The last one we got was that. That was 9:22. Saw that one already. Okay. I'll download these little buggers, don't I? Angel Wings is from the US. Wings Australia will win. Okay. Matt LeBlanc from Friends. What are you doing on the screens? Matt LeBlanc from Friends. I'll be there for you. How much lead? I've already said that before with the leads. I think 200, which means they'll have to get a total of 478. They're 220, so they still need 258 more, which is a lot. New comment. What's the new comment? Where are you from, Norman? I'm not from the Friends studio, put it that way. I'm actually from Australia. Agreed, Norman. Styling aside, kayak safety is comparable. Well, styling has improved too. You wait until you see their interiors. It's amazing. Norm, I suggest you make Grumps or Legends your moderator. Kids trials are out in force today. Yes, they are. That's okay. I don't mind the trolls. They can bring on more trolls. I don't care. I had one guy tell me that I was a creepy bugger. I got stuck in him big time. I didn't like the way he said that at all. It's quite offensive. Okay. All right, so we're back on deck now. Just having a look at what's going on there. Angel, the most successful cricket team in the history of the cricket, I respect, is Australia. 5 times world champion. Australia, yes, Australia have been up there quite a bit. I mean, they've been little champions for quite a while now. I have to admit, there's no doubt about that. Q&A from Gloria is about to start. England have absolutely floored me. They really have. They've done a great job. They've 2 for 220. A partnership of what was it, 61, 159. 159 run partnership. Brilliant effort by Darwin MALAN and Joe Burden. 159 partnership. You can't knock that. It's been excellent partnership. Norman, brother, ruled the world cricket for 20 years. I did. They didn't rule the world cricket for 20 years. I'm not denying that. So, Joe Root and Darwin MALAN have had a partnership of how much, guys? partnership of 159 not out. Brilliant. Could be the pivotal one of the match. Even more so than the one between Travis Head. And what was the big partnership there? There was one big partnership between, who was it? Labuschagne and Warner. They had a big partnership too. That partnership was similar to what they did. What was the partnership? Someone tell me. Someone look it up. Someone tell me the partnership between Labuschagne and Warner. Was it more than 159? I don't know. I'll have to have a look whether it was more than the one between. Let's have a look. Scorecards. Australia's first innings. So 1 for 10, 2 for 166. So the Labuschagne Warner partnership was actually 156. Well, this is already 159 an hour. So it was right up there. Was it a big partnership otherwise? Look. Yeah, this is any of the head partnerships was 85 and various scores there. Yeah, there was some big ones there, but this 156 was a partnership between Warner and Labuschagne. Now this is 159, so it's proving to be the best partnership to date. That partnership was, so that's going to be the notable partnership indeed. That partnership was similar to, so Norman Brother is versus India versus South Africa Test Series coming soon. What's your prediction? India versus South Africa, you'd have to think India will thump them. They've got Agarwal, Iyer in form, Rohit and Rahul back together. That's a new ball tomorrow. We'll decide the match. Paul Newman here. You're dead. You're an actor. You're dead. I think with a batting lineup of Rohit and Rahul opening, Agarwal at first drop, or maybe they'll have Agarwal and Rohit opening with Rahul at first drop, Kohli second, then you'll have Shreyas Iyer, then Punt, and you'll go on from there. But that's your batting lineup. Both Pujara and Rahali's definitely not playing. Ishant Sharma, I think, is also definitely not playing, even though he's in the squad. And Pujara, I think, will probably have to bow out as well. New ball with a 10 overs. If England are 2 for 220, right? If they can continue to bat through the next 10 overs until the new ball, then survive another 10, which means most of the morning session, then England are in a very good situation to put a score of 200 plus. Well, let's say 200 on Australia to make in the second innings. With Marcus Harris not playing well, we'll have to wait and see what happens. It's going to be an intriguing one indeed. I would argue there's a lot to be said about that. I think you're going to find a lot of issues. But look, I'm not saying that Australia will lose the Test match. I don't think it'll go that swimmingly. I don't think Australia will get. Sorry, I don't think England will get 478. That's what they're going to need, because 278. They'll actually need 478 at least. 478 at least. They'll need 478 because 200 runs lead means they've got to knock off 278 and get a further 200. Is this pitch getting mellow now? They've actually claiming there's a bit of unpreparedness for the pitch, actually. I pray to God for India because I want India to win the Test series. They should. MALAN and Brood had a good partnership in the third Test in the recent against India too. Exactly, they did as well. Great pairing. Milan's basically cemented his first drop spot. Zach Crawley is still a quality player and will be considered at some stage for this overall situation. But yeah, that's the way it stands at the moment, guys. Pretty good going, I think. Pretty good going indeed. So I'm sworn at Coogee Beach. I'm here today at the SCG. We'll go and have a look at the SCG if you want. But I'm in the car now because it's freezing outside. It's absolutely freezing for city temperatures. I'm out, late. Okay, Angel, that's good on you. Angel Wings, good to see you again. So any last questions, guys, before we head off? It's been a good session. Again, England all out for 147. Australia followed up with 425. But England have done very well. They're 2 for 220, and they're only 58 runs in arrears. They continue playing the way they have. They're bound to get a situation where they could have a 200-run lead, and that would be pretty good. Bye, Angela, and misses you too. So there you guys. It's 1:30 a.m., is it? 1:30 a.m. Where is it 1:30 a.m.? It's not 1:30 a.m. It's 8:30 p.m. It must be 3 p.m. where you are. What happened to the summer in Sydney? It's 17 degrees though. It just switched over very quickly to a strange temperature change. It may be only temporary. It's December 10th. For the half birthday. My birthday comes in 6 months' time. Halfway between birthdays. LA. You're in LA, Angel, as well. Hi, in the US. Oh, you guys are pretty cool to be here. I'm pretty impressed that you're here. It's always good to have you on, for sure. Angel Wings and No Name. Or Angel Wings and Angel will call you. How about that? We'll go with those names. Some lady here who's just joined me who's not sure what she's doing. Chris Wokes. Oh, that's not bowling one I want to say. Yeah, Mitchell Stark bowled 14. Hazelwood only 8. We've got to talk about his injury later. Pat Cummins 14. Nathan Lyons bowled 24 overs for Cameron Green 7 and Lower Shane 3. So they bowled the entirety of 70 overs as opposed to the 100. I think it was 104.3 that the Australians. So they're on their way. Still got Ben Stokes to bat. They've got Ollie Pope, Josh Butler, Chris Wokes, and Robertson. They all can bat, and if they're in a better position, you could see them go well over 400. Who thought this was going to happen? I didn't think that was going to happen at all. It's changed around quite considerably. Is there any mention about Hazelwood? Well, there you go. Shane Warne says it's got to be one of the greatest Test wins of all time if England win this Test. That's a bit of a bold statement. I think he's talking about such things. It's not quite there yet. Let's be honest. I mean, let's give it a bit of a break from that. It's a bit of a muchness to say that now, but it's a very bold looking statement, though. I must say. Have you all seen that? It is quite. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. I'm trying to find this. So there's a. No, that's not what I'm trying to find. What am I trying to find here, guys? I had it before. Oh, that was the post that we had with Shane Warne has come out and is already quoting a victory, which is interesting, isn't it? It is very interesting. But he's quoting, it'll be the greatest Ashes victory of all time if England win this match. Now, that's quite a bold. What a statement. But, he's known for that. He's known. Warnie's known for that. Warnie can't keep out of the spotlight. That's true. Surprised that David Warner's wife hasn't chipped in and said something. She usually tries to say something. Maybe she's asking for extra time. Ask Bory a live question for Bory. Rev Sports said, why is... So, looks as though Bory has gone on to extra time now to be a part of extra time, which is interesting. So it's a joint effort between the two. I don't know. Very interesting how he's gone for basically joint extra times numbers. It makes sense that he goes to that because they've actually got the numbers. So Warnie can't keep. South Africa versus Australia is also a great rivalry. Used to be. Wouldn't say it anymore. Australia, England is still the noted rivalry. They're all rivalries. Every team's got a rivalry. For God's sake, you can't not have rivalries. You can't have a situation where there's no rivalries. The Aussies need some wickets. That's not a rivalry. That's just a fact. Hi, fandom. Now, guys, I need 5 more subscribers. People who are online now, subscribe, please. Both hit the button at Norm Koch, which is my Twitter and Instagram, Norman Koch on Facebook and LinkedIn. But please also go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're listening now and you haven't subscribed, hit the notification button, hit the subscribe button. It costs you nothing. I've got 20,195 here. I wouldn't mind 20,200 today. Wouldn't mind getting 5 of you to join me. Aussie will win the match tomorrow. I'm pretty sure they will. But I mean, I'm thinking positively for England's sake. Come on, guys. 5. I've got 5. Make it 4. Come on, guys. If you're online now and you haven't subscribed, let me put right for you. No, just join up, guys. It's a matter of hitting. If you're watching the show regularly, even for the first time, Paul Newman, you're a new fan. Then fandom. I think you've been there before. Paul Newman, did you act in America? I think that's what your job was, to act. So I go on these broadcasts. It's almost 2 hours, guys. I'd love you to subscribe if you're listening. It's a worthy thing to subscribe. Always good to have you on. It's subscribe. Hit my Norman Koch thing is my Facebook page. I've got a LinkedIn page as well with about 15,000. Norm Koch is my Twitter and Instagram. But hey, YouTube, you're on it now. You're watching me now. Go Eyes on Cricket with Norman Koch. I've also got a merchandising arm. I've got a number of things I've merched for people. It's been great. So if you're online, please subscribe, guys. Good on you, fandom. Thank you for subscribing. Random, okay, so Rohan Kohli, I think you've done. So you've got 2 interesting names together. India-Pakistan is the biggest rivalry for India and Pakistan, no doubt. Australia-England is a huge, long-term, 150 years worth of rivalry, you have to remember. It's worthy of noting. It's something that's, pretty damn significant, to say the least, guys. Weird that Josh wasn't used. It is very weird, Super impressed by England's performance. I am too. I think it's been a wonderful recovery. It's given us a lot of faith. Well deserved. I totally agree. Totally and utterly agree. Some great comments coming through here, guys. Very, very impressed with your dedication to the sports. There's a lot of good things come out of today's. They also have a test which is called the Ashes. That's what we're doing the rivalry. It is a really big thing. Australia versus England. India versus Pakistan. India versus either Australia or England has also now become a huge thing. That triangular thing between Australia, England, and India. New Zealand, they're the World Test Championship holders. They've now gone into second place. They're still a threat to everybody. Australia and New Zealand have a small rivalry. Australia seems to win that out. South Africa used to have a rivalry with Australia. West Indies, when they at their peak, were unstoppable, and they were rivals with Australia and England at big time. Yeah, it is. It's 144 years old. I'm pretty sure it is. You're right. Aussie versus New Zealand is also big. Yeah, but Australia keep winning that, especially in Australia. 777 hero to England. Australia and New Zealand also big. They don't hate each other, but it's a full game. Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's very, 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 very true, guys. All right. Just looking at them. Get me 3 more subscribers. I've got 35 online now. Surely the 3 of you that haven't subscribed yet. South Africa is also a great team. Well, South Africa, I would say, was a great team, and not now. Do England have a chance of winning? 777 error. Everything has to go perfectly well. They have to have another day of 220 tomorrow, at least 220. It's not enough, though. Probably they need 258. 15 to wipe the deficit, and then go 200 in front. That means they're going to score 478 runs. That's a big total. It means these two are going to go big 150s each. That'll be the way that then I'd consider that to be possible. All right, that's where I think there'll be a situation happening there. So yeah, okay, we've got 20,197 guys. I'm desperately getting 20. I want to go on 20.2. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. Do England have a chance of winning? Well, they do. You can't say they don't. not say that they don't. They've got a great chance of winning. So we've gone 3 days. It's great to have an Australian Test series. Will Root and Drawood may score hundreds? I hope they both do. They're both clever enough. Root's 86 not out. He's in the box seat to get a big 100. What happens if South Africa and Northern they are at top of the nation in the park? Look, it's because of the quota system with their damn bloody apartheid style rule. I don't know what's going on. Quota of blacks, quota of whites. Silly. Play the best player. Who cares what colour a person is? They're South African. They should play cricket. They should be decided they're the best player. Black or white or brown or grey. Purple, doesn't matter what colour you are. Rowan, it's not David, it's Darwin, isn't it? It's Darwin, not David. David is David. His name is Darwin Malan. Confirm that. I keep getting asked that question. What is his spelling his name? It's Dawid Malan. Joe Root, my gosh, he's got 927 and he got his date for 86 now. So he is 86, 22. He's already 9364 runs. This will be his. If he gets a century here, he will have how many centuries? Be his 24th century if he gets a century here. He's ready to hit 1,000 fours. 9364. 22. And 9364. 9364. Brilliant effort, really. Root is an excellent always. Root is number one at the moment this year, no doubt. Root, Coley's up there, but not that high. Root, Williams is probably 2. Who do you think will South Africa win? India will win. I'm pretty sure India will win. Do you think Tim Payne will be back in the Test team? No. Tim Payne's days are gone. Unless by some fluke, their 5th Test, which will be in Hobart, they out of some nice kind gesture that they allow Tim Payne to come back in for that Test. That'd be rather nice. England versus Australia, oldest cricket rivalry, yes, it's 140 years. We've got that. Australia versus New Zealand is also a great one. As I said before, it is and it isn't because you should go with me driving something, guys. We should go for a drive, shouldn't we? What do you want to drive to? It's not exactly hard. You get in trouble if I drive. Can't do that. So, sports stuff. Hello. Hi, sports stuff. Who's sports stuff? Is that you? Sensational. Buri Amajunda. I think got as many followers as he wants. He should get more. Absolutely should get more. Which is currently the best Test side? It's 12-7 here. You don't need to ask. Sports stuff, you're new. Now, sports stuff, I'm new. Have you actually subscribed? I hope you have. Australia and New Zealand. Okay. Oh, is that Tasman cricket rivalry? Yes. Trans-Tasman. Yes, that's a rivalry. Sports stuff, please subscribe if you haven't already. Please do that for me. Okay. India is the best. It's definitely this. It has to be. Thanks, sports stuff. Good stuff. What did Australia do good now compared to last series? 777's got on you. Subscribe to 777. Thank you, guys. You'll be rewarded one day with when I come to India, we'll have a big party, get everybody together, and we'll enjoy it the whole time. I need one more subscriber to hit 20,200. Who's it going to be? Who's going to be 20,200th subscriber? What does Australia do good now compared to last series? Well, they're a bit more gutsier. I think Cummins may actually bring more out of them. May well be that bit of gutsiness you might need to get. One more subscriber, guys. Get your friends, share it to your friends, get them to subscribe. It'll be just make my day. Make my day. 21st century. Oh yeah, 20,200. I'll go and check that video for a second. Split second, for God's sake. This shouldn't be so hard with you. Actually, I haven't. Talangeli is a so-called we'll describe it. Okay. Do you think Jarvis must come in for Stark? I think he probably will 777. I think he will. All right, I told my friends to subscribe to your channel because I love you, analyst. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let's have a look here. What we're looking at. There's a lot to be said about. It's a great photo there that his son he's got with Matt Root. Who's Matt Root? And it was a very good partnership these two put together. Really good score, 159. The biggest of the test match so far, even more than the other, the route, not the route, sorry, the breakdown of Labuschagne and Warner. They were both pretty much on top of things. I'm subbing on another camera. Okay. All right. It is somewhat of an amazing situation, guys. So it is an amazing situation. Great photo of both these two great bats have gone out of this. So thank you for what you've done, guys. Really appreciate everything you guys are doing. It's fantastic. So we've gone 2 hours, guys. Now I think we need to talk a bit about the way that the 159 not out partnership between MALAN. I'm so glad MALAN's done well, and Root. I'm so glad. Remember the days of what's his name? Andrew Strauss and Alistair Cook and Trescothick and Jonathan Trott. They were some great players. It's the highest of the test to date. Highest between MALAN and Root. Highest of the test match to date. Pretty impressive, really. Very impressive indeed. Hasn't quite clicked over yet, but it will. We dropped off one. Thanks to your efforts for that, up to 20,199 still. Looks like one must have fallen off. You're Australian, Norman, but you say India is the best. No, it means a lot. Well, I talk fact. Let's get 20,200. What do you believe? We're still on 2199 still. Didn't click over. Anyway, it'll happen. One more subscriber, guys. We'll get there. Thanks to 777 Hero. He got me close with these subs, but we just need one more. Any more questions, guys? Or are we done? It's been a great day. The cricket, must say. Great day to listen to, great day to watch. Have you all on? Always good. Always good. Okay, so don't forget to view, like, and share on your subscribe. Notification button. Go to my Instagram, my Twitter, as well as Facebook and my other platform, which is LinkedIn. Yeah, funny how TikTok's getting a lot of persistent push from the commentators here today. Certainly there's a lot of money going into TikTok, which I'm not a big fan of. Oh, I shouldn't say. Oh, there we are. 20,200 just clicked over, guys. Thank you, guys. Damien, I got you to the sub. Thank you, Damien FF. Thank you, guys. 777. Okay, good stuff, guys. 20,000. You guys are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. You are brilliant, guys. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, appreciate it big time. Really, really do. It's always good to have these people on. There's a lot of discussion about Shane Warne and even good old Tom. Look at this. Looks fantastic. Looks fantastic. What Tony Brown's commented. Just anyone's in the game of cricket. This is the wouldn't it be exciting if it goes down to the wire? That'd be great stuff. Really, really good stuff, guys. Really, really, really good stuff. Thank you all. You've been fantastic. I might drive home a little bit. We'll see how we go. You can listen a bit further if you want. Just to turn these lights off now. I'm not going to be in trouble. We're not going to be able to see me that clearly, but we're going to be able to talk on my way home. So we're going to continue talking, guys, while I head for in darkness. I know we can't really have the light on. We can, but we can't. It's not really not allowed to do that. So the lights on the car, though, I can put the lights on the car. That might help. So I'm actually from the SCG, the Sydney Cricket Ground, down Driver Avenue, they call it, which is a straight stretch of road which goes straight down the road towards. I live in Coogee, so you heard of when you're at the cricket, you hear the Paddington end of the SCG and the Randwick end. Well, Randwick borders Coogee, whereas where I live, I'm virtually Coogee, Randwick anyway. They're both the same. So yeah, we go and Drive Avenue. On my left that was the SCG, followed by sort of studios, which were like a Royal Agricultural Society. The Sydney Swans football team have their thing there too. We've got Centennial Park also to the left. We've got Moore Park there. A lot of great areas where I'm driving around. So it's got a green light here now. We're going to turn on to a street which then leads on to Anzac Parade. Anzac Parade, but Anzacs, of course, Australia and New Zealand's fight through the war. They're called the Anzacs. So we have an ANZUS as ANZ, A for Australia, N for Z for New Zealand, and US will do the US. We all get together and we have our platforms there, ANZUS and Anzac. There's another platform that basically services core for that. So let's just turn the light on. And then you have a situation there where you have both in the situation. So I'm actually driving, guys, but I'm watching what you're doing a little bit. So we're going to drive towards. We're heading down what they call Anzac Parade, which then turns on to Allison Road. Allison Road leads straight to Randwick. We're at the Randwick end of the SCG. You would have heard that. We're going down Anzac Parade, turning left into Allison Road. Allison Road, of course, leads straight down to my street, which is Carrington Road. So I basically have two streets. I have three: Driver Avenue, Anzac Parade. Now I'm on Allison Road now, and I'm already one street away from my home. That's how close I am to the SCG. Quite incredible. I'm this close to the SCG. It's quite an amazing closeness to the SCG. So please answer my question. Sangeeta Paul, what have you asked? What's your question? Can you ask the question again, Sangeeta Paul? I can't see a question. Let me keep having these lights on. Sangeeta Paul, if you've got a question, ask it again. What was your question, Sangeeta Paul? Udakash Anand, you're here as well. How are you? And thanks to Damien FFISSA, which is also, we know who that is. It's 777 Hero. Sangeeta Paul, ask your question again. For some reason, I didn't see it. Can you ask it again? You're streaming while driving? Wow. Well, I'm actually not watching the screen. I'm watching the road, but I'm able to talk to you. No difference to is Travis Head, world-class player. Well, after his 150 odd runs, you have to give it to him. That 150 runs was magnificent. His first 112 were off 100 was on 85 balls, 112 of 95 balls. Doug Walters, like, go on and have a look at videos of Doug Walters. He's trying to play Doug Walters play. You'll see what we mean by scoring centuries in a session. Sangeeta Paul, what was your question? Trying to find it. Must have been ages back, Sangeeta Paul. Can't find it. You need to tell me what the question is. I did see a Rye, you're here, I can see that. What do you say? Can be careful not to cause grief here by driving. We're going on Alice Road, so we've gone Driver Avenue, then we make our way to Anzac Parade, and then we go on to Alice Road, which I'm on now. Is Travis Head a world-class player? Okay, you've already asked that question. And I've mentioned it too. Oh, so there we go. I'll go this way or that way. Which way will I go? I'll go left, bugger, I'll go left. Which is actually up Cowper Street. So I'm taking a slight detour off Allison Road. A lot darker on the street, as you can see. I can barely see you guys at the moment. Turn the lights on, I'll get a bit of sight. So I did hear, right, where have you been? You've been late. I was talking to you earlier today. So, eyes on cricket with Norman Kochak. We're doing well. We've enjoyed all of your involvement, guys, today. I'm heading home. Travis Head scored his 152, but look out tomorrow. We might have Darwin MALAN and Joe Root scoring 150s. Let's at least get him to 100, especially Joe Root. He deserves it. When he gets, another 250 runs, he is the most prolific run scorer for this year and for any year for England. Is that right? I'm not sure. I thought that Viv Richards scored 1,700 one year. So Australia will get a target of 180 to 200 runs. I think you could be right. It's going to be a big ask. England will have to bat out of the skin again tomorrow, that is. It's going to be interesting. We'll have a preview show at the crack of dawn tomorrow, very early. We'll be able to see what's going on. So we're getting very close to my shot, which is Carrington Road. Who is your favourite cricket player? Phantom. My favourite cricket player ever, Viv Richards, by far. Viv Richards by a country mile. But if we're talking about just now, well, this series now, I mean, Ricky Ponting was great with Steve Waugh. Currently, I love Kohli, the way he plays. I love the way Rishabh Pant's were playing. Rohit Sharma, Williamson and Root are both pretty good. I like Darwin MALAN a lot too. He's a big time player. Very, very big time player. Past my bedtime, I think. Tomorrow is Saturday, the 11th of December. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are you doing? The person just walked straight out in the middle of the street. Not realised there was a car coming. Doesn't he look at whether something called green light, red light? Jesus. All right, guys, so we're just about finished now. So, again, view, like, and share. Thanks for all your subscribers today. And obviously, notification from tomorrow morning's pre- and post-session. And an event. We've got a couple of videos there, one of MALAN, Labuschagne, and Darwin MALAN having a chat post-match. So please watch that. It's going to be of great interest to see what they say. I'm going to look at them very carefully. With MALAN, Labuschagne scoring 70-odd, and Darwin MALAN not out 80-odd. So they're both, true to their name. So for the test batsman, I just told you. Yes, some pretty shocking situations occur yet again. All right. I'm going a bit of darkness now. We're getting very close to Carrington Road, which is where I live. I'm going to turn right where I'm at home. It's a Friday night. Should be partying, shouldn't I? Test batsman, Viv Richards. Okay, but I love the way Marnus plays. Yeah, I do, but something's on the nose with him. I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge fan of Marnus Labuschagne. For some reason, this person decides to jump the last second away from the car. Oh, God, drivers, I don't know about Marnus Labuschagne. I can't say I'm a huge fan. I don't know why. Just something's not right about him. Not exactly sure why I'm saying that, but I am saying that. All right, we're going to be going. We'll be stopping here in the car. It'll be in for tonight. Hopefully, I'm going to spot. I'm going to spot the park. There's always a bit of a way around Coogee. That's how fair. That's from the SCG to my place. That's how close it is. Nice and close. Well, guys, you've experienced going for a drive with me from the SCG, from Driver Avenue, through Anzac Parade, through Allison Road. We're on our way from there to Carrington Road, which is where I live, and we're home. All right? There we go. Beep, 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 beep. All right, guys. I'll see you all tomorrow, shall I? Do you know Simon Dool? I have spoken to him. He's not a bad bloke. Pretty good bloke. Stokes is injured. Is he injured? I don't think he's totally injured. I think he's just a bit lame, as he's got a sore knee, but I think he's going to play still. It's more Hazelwood's the one that's of interest to me. What's going with Hazelwood's the question. Hazelwood's been the one that's more concerning to everybody else. All right, guys. So, any more decent questions? Bye-bye. See you later, guys. What do you think of Cummins' captaincy? At the moment, it's waning a little bit. The first innings, it was easy. Everything went well. He took 5 wickets. He started off brilliant. But his second innings has been a bit waning. It hasn't been perfect. They've scored. We'll see how he goes tomorrow. That'll be the big test. Tomorrow will be the big test of how he goes in terms of his so-called captaincy. I do right. I think that's the test. He's waned a bit today. Certainly wasn't at his best. It wasn't at all smoking on all cylinders. So no, I don't know. I don't know whether he's really. He's gonna find himself wanting for sure. There's no doubt about that. He's gonna find himself really wanting. So one line on there. I've got to turn it off now. All right, guys. So Cummins' captaincy will be on the firing line tomorrow. So we'll talk tomorrow, guys. Talk to you all tomorrow. Okay. Okay. Don't forget to view, like, and share. Subscribe. Pass on all your to your friends what's going on with this session. 2 hours and 20 minutes of discussion. Pretty long. Ciao. See you tomorrow.